So this session is not just going to be me telling you what is community. You all have lived in the residence halls and have seen community either as a resident or as a CA or both. So we're just going to have some dialogue about traditional style halls, start getting the conversations flowing so you all can start thinking of ideas for programs, because today is really the programming day. We're going to go over the programming model, go to the conference style programming sessions. So this is just to try to get your creative juices flowing to start thinking about programs that you want to put on for your floor section. So who could give me some characteristics of our traditional style halls?
Community bathrooms.
Community bathrooms, yes. Great way to advertise is putting things up in the bathroom, but let your housekeepers know. Is that all about our community style moments? Yeah. Roommates. Yeah. And a lot of the pairs may not have lived in the same room as someone else, so you'll see some of those roommate conflicts definitely. You got something? Yours is roommates, great. So have mostly first year students, some second years as well, but we have mostly first year students, first time at college. Oh yeah. Just having the background music there. So first year students, which have their own set of things going on with them. First time at college, first time taking college classes, maybe first time doing their laundry. Everyone will ask you how to do laundry that first couple of weeks, so be prepared to show them in a nice educational way and not, you've never done laundry before. So what are some of the challenges we face? We named some, but what are some other challenges we face in our traditional style halls?
Really thin walls.
Really thin walls, yes. Some noise complaints because of that, because of loud music. Other challenges that we face? Yeah.
If there are conflicts, there's probably going to be more people that know about those than otherwise.
Yeah, rumors spread, so if someone has a problem with their roommate, they're likely to tell their floor mates down the hall, and they start getting involved, and it could turn into a huge issue. That's why it's important to really combat those problems early so it doesn't come into a community issue, definitely. What are some other challenges? Yeah.
Close living spaces.
Close living spaces, yes. The rooms are not huge, so you're always going to be by your roommate unless you leave the room a lot. So if you can't stand the person, it's definitely hard to live with them because you're very close. But with challenges come opportunities. So what are some of the opportunities that we have with our first year students? Yeah.
A lot of people become really close to their roommates, good friends,
Yeah.
good hallmates.
So these are the first people they're going to meet at school, so they could become lifelong friends because of that. Yeah.
You're more likely to see your residents if they have to go to the bathroom, they have to take a shower, so.
Yeah, you will see them go to the bathroom and shower. They won't be in their room all the time because they have that there. Yeah. Can you speak up? I'm sorry, I can't.
It's like there's a large relationship with more connections because they are in their hallway and they're sitting there. It's a community, so they'll be able to see each other all the time.
Right, definitely. Yeah.
And because they're first year students, most of them, they're looking for a community, and so you're able to give it to them or try and make a community within them.
Even though your residents may seem too cool for school, they're looking for friends, they're looking for things to do, especially our first year students. So really give them those opportunities, definitely. Yeah.
Because it's a closed space, you can also help influence them towards good habits or good things instead of letting them kind of figure it out on their own and go off on bad paths. You can help encourage them to do their homework, be timely, not go out and party every weekend, things that are good things, good habits for the rest of their academic career.
Yes, you're going to be their role model. Whether you like it or not, you're going to be. So if they see you studying, they're going to say, oh, I need to study for that exam. If they see you stumbling in on the weekend, they're going to think that's okay as well. So you're their role model. They're going to follow your lead. So make sure that lead is a good one, definitely. Yeah.
Because there's so many people in the halls, they're more likely to make more friends than just their roommates, so you can encourage them to do their work more often.
Yeah, a lot of the times our residents think that their roommate has to be their best friend. Their roommate doesn't have to be their best friend, they just have to stand them enough to be in the same room. So definitely encourage them to make other friends outside of their room, definitely. Yeah.
I think especially for the first year students, it's a great way to advertise all the clubs and activities going on. I think this is a great opportunity for us to learn maybe about creative clubs and the organizations that are coming.
Yeah, get them involved, find out their interests, and then try to find out if there's a club that really fits that. See what they did in high school. Maybe there's a club that's very similar to that as well, definitely. So there's a lot of challenges, but there's even more opportunities, as we saw. So you really have great opportunities to really make an impact on your students. So the first 6 weeks is very critical in building your community. If you don't get your residents hooked the first 6 weeks, it's going to be harder to get them hooked later on. So what are some ways you can build that really strong community in the first 6 weeks? Yeah.
Tell them to keep the doors open.
Keep their doors open, definitely. They can't meet people if their doors closed all the time because people likely won't go knocking down the hallways like the CAs do, definitely.
What you can do is communicate with them as much as possible so you can get that bond. So, like you see them inside the hall or you see them inside the laundry room, like stop them, speak with them, see how that day was so they can be comfortable. So y'all can have a strong communication with each other.
Yeah. You're their CA across campus, not just on your floor. So if you see them in passing around campus, say hi to them. Don't act like you don't know them because that type of relationship will reflect on your floor as well. They'll stop saying hi to you and then it's just all downhill from there. So what other ways for the first 6 weeks to really build that strong community? Yeah.
I think a great way is like to set the tone during your first floor meeting and like just try to convey like we are a community and we're all here for each other and I'm especially here for you. I think that's just a great way to set like a community sort of vibe.
Yeah, the first floor meeting is very crucial. It could determine whether they want to continue going to your programs and your meetings and events or not, or if they're just, that was a waste of time, I'm not going to go to anything else. So first floor meeting is very crucial. Make sure you're as prepared as possible. Maybe run it a couple times with a couple staff members just to make sure that you're on your game and you're ready to go for that meeting, definitely. Any other ways? Yeah.
Like during the first 6 weeks, it's really important to learn their names as soon as you can because if you like, you can stop talking to them. If you don't know their name, you can be like, oh, I'm not like important to her. She doesn't really care.
Definitely. So a good way to do that for learning names is our staff likes to do associate a letter of an animal that starts with the letter of your first name. So last year I was Trent the Tilapia. This year I was Trent the Toad. So people are going to remember my name associated with my animal. Doing those alliteration games like that definitely helps in remembering names. Or say their name a lot when you first meet them, because that'll get it in your head, okay, that's Sarah, that's Sarah, that's Sarah. So those are some good tricks to do. Yeah, just.
I think a lot of CAs forget this, but incidents, your first incident with a resident is really important. Even if it's noise or alcohol or whatever it is, that's when you're going to set the tone as to what you're going to hold them accountable for through the semester. So if you're like, oh, I'm going to let this slide because you're like feeling unsure, you don't want to deal with it, they're going to pick up on that, and that's going to be the tone for the rest of the semester, is that they can get by with those kind of things. So your first instance, I'm not saying you need to be like, hold the line, I'm a cop type of person, but you do need to like hold your ground and hold them accountable right away and set the tone for the rest of the year.
What about beyond the first 6 weeks? How are some ways you can sustain that community that you have built up those first 6 weeks? Yeah.
And hold community like programs and involvement, have kind of group activities like that.
The first 6 weeks programming is very extensive for good reason to make sure we're retaining our students. But after the first 6 weeks, don't stop programming. Continue having those really great events for your residents to keep getting them involved with your community. Definitely. What are some other ways we could? Yeah.
I guess be supportive of your student interns and finals, and if you have like an LC or something, get study groups together, really help them go through what you went through as your first like really big midterm time.
Definitely. So a lot of our residents really haven't had to study for a test before until they come to college. So they may be struggling that first semester, so giving them tips about how to study, having final study sessions, things like that will really help them and will help them make the grade so they can come back to tech for another semester, definitely. What are some other ways? Yeah.
I found floor dinners to be like super encouraging, so along with like other programming, we have one floor dinner a month, and if you came, great, and if you didn't, like, that's okay too. But, so, it was something from the beginning that we held all throughout the year.
Floor dinners are an easy program, but it helps build really strong community. If your residents all are free Sunday night, you could have a weekly Sunday night dinner. It's really easy, but residents, it really helps them feel like Texas Tech is their home because they eat dinner with their family. They could eat dinner here with their family here at Texas Tech, definitely. So, what are some ways we can determine what types of programs or events we should put on for our residents?
You could determine that by after the first 6 weeks, you would have like a clear idea of what they like, what they don't like, what they like doing because you've been around them for so long and like their environment would already be set. So it would be easy to program. Say like I have a floor full of boys and they like to play games or they like to play basketball. I would know that. I'd pick it up from the first 6 weeks after being around everyone for so long, and then after that I could know, okay, I can make programs, we can play super smart, so we could go to the rack and play basketball or something like that.
Figure out what they like. If they like what you're programming on, they'll definitely go to it. Yeah.
Going off of that, having some sort of suggestion box where they can anonymously say like, I want to do this, because a lot of times in a floor meeting when you're like, what do you guys want to do? And no one wants to speak up because they're like, I want to be cool.
Yeah, definitely. So what are some other ways we could see like what your residents are interested in? Some ways I didn't hear. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
During your first board meeting, when you do the icebreakers, you can probably find out like what their hobbies are. You can find a general consensus of like this group generally likes to do this or this, and then you can basically program off that.
Definitely. Some of you all may have filled out interest sheets for your staff. Having your students fill out interest sheets as well. That'll help see what are some common trends on your floor. You could see Sarah and Susie like to play volleyball, get them connected to each other so they can go to the rec. It will help you with programming and also help you build those strong relationships by finding out those similar interests, definitely. So, what are some tips from returners that you wish you knew about programming or building community that you didn't know when you started the CA position? Yeah.
Once you finish efficiently write a program proposal.
Yes, be very detailed on your program proposals, especially when you're asking for funds, because we want to make sure we're using our funds wisely. So if it's not explained well, it may get rejected, especially with that funding request. Yeah.
In like programming, like to get ideas that Pinterest is vague.
Yes, Pinterest is very good for bulletin board ideas, door deck ideas, program ideas. There's RA pages on Pinterest that you could definitely look at. Yeah.
Keep up with the proposals because they go through like a line of people and it'll tell you the stage. So sometimes if you just say like, hey, to your like supervisor, are you getting them? Because mine was going to a different building the entire time. I didn't know that. So that's no.
Yeah, so if you're asking for funding, you need to submit that proposal at least 2 weeks in advance, just because it has to go to your supervisor, it has to go to assistant director, and then it might get pushed back for some reasons. So you definitely need to plan it out, especially with funding. Yeah.
Residents respond to different types of advertising, so whereas writing on a whiteboard may not work, door tags might, or maybe some type of 3D advertisement, they get poster blindness really quickly.
Yeah, so think of creative ideas that you could reach your residents because they're going to see a lot of flyers up in your hallway, around the building, around campus, so you really need something to really stick out to them so they actually stop and read what is up. So that's, yeah.
So sometimes you plan for a lot of people to come to your program, and that is wrong. But just because you don't have the members you expect, it's still engage with those residents that are there. And maybe if you do have some resources left in that program, try to take it on your floor and kind of engage with those people on your floor.
Your attitude should not change regardless of how many people are at your program. So if you have 50, your attitude should still be the same as if you have 1, because that one person took time out of their day to attend. And if they have a really good time, they'll tell their friends, and you may have more people come to the next couple programs.
It's good to team up with your CAs, because just what I've experienced is just doing a program on your own is usually not that many people, but get just 2 or 3 CAs and everybody advertising, everybody on the same page, it's a lot better.
Yeah, definitely. Work smarter, not harder. You utilize each other for programming as well. Yeah.
If you're gonna do a program outside, make sure you're constantly checking the weather.
Yes, check the weather and have a backup location just in case the weather is not ideal. Yeah.
If possible, it's really good to do programs in high traffic areas, because you put up advertisements, but I would have situations where my residents would say, I didn't see the advertisement, but they're walking through the elevator and they see the program in the Coleman game lobby and they come to it, because yeah, it's just on the way. So.
Yeah, utilize those high traffic areas. If your building really doesn't have like big spaces for programming, still be in those high traffic areas, but have a fellow CA or somebody like tell them about the program in the lounge or something like that, just to get them more aware. They're back in the building, so they may definitely attend.
Just remind them throughout the week, like personal invites, because they may read an advertisement, but they'll remember a personal invitation.
Personal invites show you really want them to attend the program, so that really plays a huge role in them actually coming, because reading an advertisement, it could be for anybody, but a personal invite really shows that you want them to attend. Great. Yeah.
Program and a time and day in which you know your residents are available. So programming at midnight on a Sunday might not be the best idea. So figure out what their best times are, what they're interested in and involved in, and plan around that.
Yeah, so on that interest form you have them fill out, you could add when are you most available for programming, so you can determine when you should have your events. So what are some really cool program ideas that you all have seen or have thought of for the first 6 weeks, just to get your mind start working on those program ideas? So anyone have a really cool programming idea for the first 6 weeks? Yeah.
Some of the ice cream scavenger to get to your building. So you have like different stations, like the one room on second floor, the kitchen on second floor, something. And you have the residents go through with like guides, LCS guides, and this is the one room, this is that, so have an ice cream scavenger.
Awesome. Yeah.
A lot of college freshmen or just people come to college thinking that they gotta do the most every day, just like because of what they like look like. So I'm gonna do Fearless Monday for all of you.
Any more cool ideas y'all would like to share with each other? Yeah.
I know, can we go just something about passive programming? Because that was really hard for me my first year, but I was like, oh, bulletin boards, but it's so much more than that. And so one of them is like a passive safety program, and so I'm gonna have little mints outside my door and put like safety tips on them and be like, take a mint and learn a tip. And so that way, like, they get something out of it, and it's not just like, oh, I did another bulletin board.
A lot of people think passive programs are only bulletin boards, but it could be so much more than just bulletin boards. You just have to be a little creative with it.
Something that I want to do to like promote, I guess, community within my floor is what's called the Proud Mom Fridge. So it's just going to be a fridge on one of the doors that I can use in the bulletin. And then anything that they're proud of, anything that they see someone else do, sticky notes. Hey, I saw you do this, and this. That was awesome. They can put it on the fridge. That way when they're going by, going on the elevator, they can see something and really be proud of themselves.
Awesome, I like that a lot.
I was thinking of a program where the community can come closer together. Like, I can get like a paper and you can mark off like who you spoke to today, who you had a conversation with. Because if I do something like that, that would make everyone closer. And like the glue would be tight in the community, and that would be better. So we get up like, I get up a paper, you talk, you write down who you spoke with today, who you spoke with, and at the end of the day, I give a prize to the person who spoke to the most people. So it'll make the whole community and the whole floor better because everyone will know each other, and that'll make things much easier.
Yeah, that'll give them an excuse to go talk to someone they may have been intimidated to talk to before, definitely. Yeah.
I haven't done this program myself, but I've seen some fellow CAs do it. That was pretty successful. It was like a roommate engagement thing, and they named it "Don't Torture Roommate," and they ordered Portuguese tacos, and it was pretty awesome. So, pretty cool.
Around last year around this time, I did Life Saves Candyland, and I did trivia about my building and about campus. And it was something to do with character building or something like that. That was the prompt that I used, and I had people from off campus see the advertisements and they came to it. And the next program that I did, they brought their friends, and pretty much the entire theater department came. So.
Alright, last idea, make it a good one.
So this was when I was a freshman, this is what my senior did, she had a suggestion box, and for some reason our whole course suggested wave. So somehow she turned it into an educational component and turned it into remember you have to complete your alcohol and food stuff, and made it like an alcohol awareness program.
So thank you all for sharing. Hopefully each and every one of you heard some ideas that you really like and some tips that you really resonated with you, so you can take those onto your floor. I know you all have the potential to build amazing communities, and I can't wait to hear about all the cool programming ideas y'all do across campus. So we have about 8 minutes before the next session, so we're gonna let them